All right, a little late, but we'll call the Open Space Task Force of SGIC to order. We'll start with the little go round, and I just want to start by inviting everybody present to participate throughout. So don't need to wait with the current people present, don't need to wait until any other time to contribute. We'll just go around the circle. I'm Jonah Keene, Chair of the Open Space Task Force and a member of the Sustainable Greenfield Implementation Committee.
I'm Patty O'Neill, ecological landscaper. I'm Sarah Tino, I'm a non-voting member.
Emily Voss, living member of the task force and a member of the Conservation Commission. Francois Matt, a member of SGIC and of this committee as well.
Allison Gage, I'm a non-voting member.
All right. Nancy, do you want to introduce yourself as a member of SGIC?
Thank you. Member of SGIC,
Great.
but not a member of the task force.
Great. Okay, so we got a little bit of a late start, but we'll jump right in. The first agenda item is approving the minutes. Thanks to Francois for taking them. Do we have a motion? Also, any discussion?
Yes,
Yeah.
under move 6. The comment also pointed out that those vacant lands are, okay, this is a typo, I think it's a typo, are areas. What was it? Those vacant lands are wetlands.
Maybe that
Is that what you
second,
said?
maybe that second R is like those vacant land
Yeah.
areas like wetlands and protected lands.
I mean,
Maybe that's what you were saying. I don't know.
oh, I'm not connected to the internet. Hold on a second, please. This GFD, yes?
Yes. And I also noticed Allison's last name missing at the top there. Age. But it looks good. Any other comments? Great. All in favor of staying? Approved. Okay. So the bulk of our meeting today is looking at two parts of our priorities. The first one being this mapping and land protection priority. So that'll be the first thing we go into. And the next thing after that is we'll look at the year ahead, and I think I shared long ago now. I hope I shared last month. So the priorities updated a little bit based on our last conversation and started to plug in names on who wants to focus on what and how we want to work on those for this year ahead. So first, let's look at these beautiful maps. And I'll turn it over to Allison.
Cool. So the one that I would start looking at is the land conservation priorities map. And
I'm sorry, Eric. Just one quick thing, Nancy, and anybody watching the recording is we don't have digital versions to put up right now of what we're looking at, but we will be sharing these publicly very soon on the website once they're finalized. So yeah,
sorry about that.
Yeah, wait, yeah. So yeah, so tune in. We'll have these to share soon.
So land conservation priorities, and then there's a land conservation priorities map key. So if you have those next to each other, the one with the gradient of orange to green, that's the one that we were looking at last time. So two of the main changes I made were trying to make the chapter 61 parcels, a little bit more clear.
Hmm,
So those are in black. And then I put a gradient over or a crosshatch over the parcels that are permanently protected.
Mhm.
So that we can see a little bit better, where the parcels that rank high are already adjacent to protected space.
yes.
And then with the key, it was hard to get all the overlapping ones to show up, but, so the ones that are ranked, like, if you're curious as to why some parcels obtained a higher ranking in terms of conservation priority, then you can kind of piece together, okay, that's biomap, that is the
Mhm.
floodplain.
Yep.
So they're kind of have to go together. That's what that is.
Then, oh,
No,
ready for questions?
yes, yeah.
So on the key here, the EJ neighborhood is, that's all, is all of this area?
So it's yes and
It
no.
is, okay.
There is
Mhm.
this little neighborhood right here is not EJ, but the way, so the state updated the maps 2 years ago, so now it's by census block. So these are all different census blocks and they're all EJ except for this one. I need to find a way to like
Oh, but it
shade that
borders
out.
all.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you, where do you see EJ? It's the outline.
It's the outline.
Outline.
Yeah.
Which one is it, Allison, that's not included?
This one.
Okay, so it's basically, it's in the middle of.
It's in the middle of
Yeah.
everything else. Yeah, so, and I didn't want to like highlight over because there's all X.
We can make a little
And then-
annotation there.
Yeah, it does stand out, in priorities as not being.
Yeah.
4 inches is a lighter,
Yeah,
so, yeah, okay.
yeah, so like pretty much all the towns ranked because it's EJ actually. It's- Yeah. I guess so.
At one point.
Yeah.
At all. What's this on this map key? What's this little orange squiggle over by the green river?
Squiggle.
Oh, yeah.
I think that is the regional rare species because it's on top of yellow.
Where the river goes.
Yeah. So I think that must, because it pops up
I
like
see.
in the northwest corner.
So some rare species were observed.
Oh, right. I
Yeah.
think it's just with the yellow on top of it, maybe. It's the
Yeah.
brown, it's orange, because I'm
Yeah.
seeing the other brown spot that looks orange.
Right, I see, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what this area is over here. But
Hmm,
I don't know what little species is over here.
right.
Which one?
This over here.
Okay. I don't know for sure, but all along the river there, it might just be bald eagle as far as rare species.
Yeah.
Does it have to be time of the green?
This large section of rare species. And
I know this-
that borders the river, that it could be bald eagle.
I know there's twenty something.
Probably, so-
Things I have to find, yeah,
Yes.
just because I happened to do that, I figured when it's called, it was probably 20 years ago. There was a group that would meet when we did rare plant surveys, so I know there's rare plants in.
Yes, I see a certain color. So this map is all the different plant communities that have names like north, central, interior, wet flood, flat woods and. There's like, appears to be 6 like big communities. Natural communities, plant communities. And some point, like maybe a little bit later, when we think about how to maybe manage volunteers around engaging people about, like helping out with whatever,
Mhm.
then I think this would come handy.
Yeah.
How-
Oh, yes.
Yes, and you said we can tell which ones are next to already protected, and so how do we know they're already protected?
It's the cross.
Cross matches, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so, okay, all right. And what is local landscapes?
So that is one of new biomap categories, so they, with the updated version, it used to just be like statewide core habitat critical landscape.
Yeah.
With the update, they made some local and regional components.
Okay, great.
So, yeah, the yellow is what the state deemed,
Is that local to the town?
yes.
Okay.
And I meant to print this out as well, but I put together like a little Word doc with an explanation of all the layers and
Yeah,
how.
there's- Okay, great.
Yeah, but, so you can put that with us as well.
This makes some parcels pop out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah, so that's the other thing, like looking at the key, and we don't have to decide this right now, but looking at the key and looking at how parcels are graded.
Mhm.
If we think that, oh, the local landscapes is kind of skewing some of this, or are there other things that we think are more important and should make the priorities pop, then that's also.
Right. Yeah.
Because everything has the same weight. It's just how many features, so.
Right, yeah.
That is something that can totally change.
Mhm.
As we talked about the environmental justice. Any land protection there would likely be a different lens, different focus, different priorities.
yes.
And it's obviously not gonna be biomap, land in the middle of the city.
Yeah.
So it seems like that, we just have to make sure we're,
Yes,
when we're looking at the different priorities, that we're looking at that with this different.
Yeah.
Different perspective on it.
I'd like to see some of the properties mentioned in the pollinator action plan of like
Mhm.
potential
Mhm.
spots. Maybe this is on one of these maps already, like, whatever, roadside edges, parks, cemeteries, they mentioned the country club, Meadows Golf Course, the industrial park area, and farmland management. And yeah, I guess I would like to see where they like, do they occur in any of these places? And this probably doesn't exist, but some kind of invasive plant inventory
Mhm.
to know like what's at the threat level, because that's definitely, like, if we're engaging people to help conserve this land, then that would definitely be a big part of it. But I don't think, do you know if any of that exists anywhere?
I don't know, do you know?
Exactly what we're looking for.
I think, wonder if anybody's done invasive plant inventory, like just a list of the invasive plants that are in Greenfield, and maybe like how established they are. And
There's, it's very broad, but as a part of the hazard mitigation plan, there's a list of all the observed invasive species in Greenfield. I can't remember who did it. It would be 5 or 6 years old.
Not by parcel, but by region, and just on this.
Yeah, just be by town, but then I think as per the open space plan, Mary Chickwin, provided a little bit more background. I don't look at the plan.
I bet we do have it for some, just because of some concerned citizens.
Yeah,
We have it for some areas, but I can't imagine we have it for the whole town.
and I don't know how specific it is beyond like, big patch of knotweed here, or when it blows over, I don't know.
Yeah, so, probably, see, back in, I'm not gonna get the date right on this, but it's probably early 2000s. We did I was working with DRWA and we did a big survey of knotweed. Green River, but that's outdated now.
Yeah.
And I mean, most people know there's knotweed everywhere. And just from we going, I mean, having talked a lot, I kind of know what's in there. But I think a lot of it's probably people's knowledge, people who walk so-and-so way, such and such a place, they know what's there, but none of it's, mapped or.
There's probably more so on town-owned land, like for this, we'd be most interested to know for lands that are not You see that, I mean, these look like a lot of overlapping things, I don't know what conditions are like there, I think we may have to just go out. And
Like, great citizen science activity, and I think of the list
yeah,
app
Right.
where you can basically log all of your findings, like, on a map. So there, I feel like it might just be a matter of figuring out a way to pull that information together.
yeah.
Um,
So, are there any other questions first about these before?
I'm looking at a different question now.
Yeah.
So the edge, it's green, two different greens, and they're both hatched. And the hash looks like it's the Greenfield Conservation Commission. There's two different greens. So I just wanted to see if some of it's rec land, some of it's Conservation Commission, or like a misunderstanding. Because it's not at the angle of the federal one. There is some of that further north on the ridge. This is the big area that runs north and south.
Yeah, that looks like it's Conservation Commission. And then down in the Highland Park area, that's looking like rec department.
Okay,
So it's
there's a
like-
thin strip of light green that has the Conservation Commission match that's right next to a thicker strip of
Right.
darker green. And I was just wondering if
You
that
know
hid-
what?
hid
That's
anything.
shadow.
No, I think it's the hill.
Oh, yeah, okay.
slope.
So it's just
Yeah.
the terrain.
Yeah.
I think making it look different.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is confusing though.
So I guess one big question for me is, as we look at these, is just thinking about. So the next step of this is gonna be. Trying to sharing with Jessica and others in the town, getting input.
Yeah.
Is there any thoughts on how these look and if we want to consider any modifications, I guess?
Yeah.
if parcels could be a little bit darker, some areas,
On the key,
yeah,
okay.
some areas it needs to get a little washed out.
Yeah.
Let's see what the number-
I guess my big question is, are folks happy with the categories that are included in the gradient?
Right.
Are there things that we want to add, change, weight differently?
I do feel like the town, the city, developed city center should be separate.
Okay.
We should be looking at it, like just like ag, for example, the ag soils there
Right.
is not a, for us, something we're too concerned with.
Right.
And the fact that it's an EJ community, we care a lot about.
Right.
So it's like, I feel like it should be somehow, maybe it's just grayed, we gray out on this map. That. And we create a separate EJ that's focused more on, that's really focused on access, like distance, like that
Right.
people have to travel to an open space kind of layers. Or we fit it in here, but I could see it being beneficial to have the city center being basically gray on
Yeah.
this map
Yeah.
and having a separate map zoomed in on the city center that's really focused on the environmental justice. And thinking if there's any other, I don't know what layers exist that we can put in there. Other layers that would be helpful. Thinking at what our goals are for
I'm
those.
not sure if it's layers per se, as much as projects and information that we know for other or
Yeah.
plans like the Hollanders and corridors or musical meadow project. The Greenfield Tree Committee plant, we have to target the trees and plant
Right.
shade trees.
Right.
So there might be a different set of data that we want to bring in here.
Yeah,
And I really think separating that out, it makes a lot of sense.
I like having the agricultural soils in the city center just for like the possibility of like encouraging people to grow food and do like urban permaculture projects and maybe think about, like, I wonder about where our vacant lots are and.
I mean, I think if I made a separate map of just the downtown, I could really. look
I
at
definitely want, yeah, separate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are vacant lots.
Because there are vacant lots, but they're so tiny, and hard to see. So, yeah, I think I could still,
It benefits from blowing it up.
Yeah.
Get more than.
so I could,
in detail.
yeah, I could keep the ag soils on there that have some of what Emily was talking about.
And also the,
Having public transportation might be useful,
Yeah.
and like there's might be ways to capture the access or distance
Distance
to
to, right, yeah.
natural areas and concert areas.
Okay.
Put the bike trail in,
Right.
or the bike trail.
Yeah, and I guess the important thing for me too is making sure we keep what's our goal of this map,
Yeah,
and which is really to think about new lands to protect.
yeah,
So I think what you're talking about could be used more for educational. It wouldn't necessarily be for new land to protect because there's ag soils there, but maybe educational about the fact that there is good soils in your neighborhood for gardening or backyard garden. Is that what you're saying, or you're saying choose?
yeah, I mean, looking for informed projects, people.
projects and any development.
Yep.
Especially like for floodplain, or just flooding, preparation, like. Managed retreat, I never hear it really talked about in planning, but
Yeah.
there are places that are really prone to flooding, and I would love to consider what that might look like. And maybe
For gas.
yeah, I don't know, and I think it would be really cool to see that on a map and at least start that discussion.
Yeah.
It'd be really interesting to do some ground truthing too, for ground, and then, because you, just because it's mapped doesn't mean that, you know, this has happened compacted or, you know, contaminated or whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe not everywhere, but maybe the empty lots,
Yeah.
and check those,
Mhm.
or ones that could potentially be useful for a project.
Yeah.
Now, when you send a link to, you'll send a link to the actual electronic
Yes,
maps, because I'm wondering if we can blow it up so we can, because sometimes I'm not
Yeah.
sure on this big map where exactly this is in reference to streets.
yeah,
We can put those links in the agenda too, we could do that to make it for anybody who's curious about what we're talking about.
Mhm.
And in the notes, I mean, not the.
In the
agenda,
minutes,
minutes,
yeah,
There you go, that's what I'm looking for.
Okay, so space inventory one has more of the streets in here. Just to sort of navigate around.
So are folks in agreement on that basic idea of having the city center be a sort of enlarged, somewhat
Yeah,
separate
definitely.
focus?
Definitely.
Yeah, great.
and then the other big question was, do we want to weight things differently?
Right.
I think we should look at, like, assemble a new list for that city center
Okay,
of variables, and then think about how to maybe do something similar to this.
okay,
But I think it's just gonna be so different that you know, we can't necessarily predict that people will take.
okay.
And then you're also wondering for the outskirts.
Yeah.
If we want to weight those differently as well.
Yeah, just are we happy with, like the local landscapes having as much of a weight as for habitat? Or is that overly complicating things?
Right.
Is anything weighted, or is it all even?
It's all even.
Okay,
It's just, yeah, each category has one ecological feature.
that might be where we could get them back on the commissions. If they think, well, we really have to pay attention to. flooding or
Right,
something
Right.
like that.
Yeah, and I have not spent time with the latest biomap to distinct, like, I feel like I have a clear understanding of the critical natural landscapes and the
Yeah.
habitat from the previous years, but I don't really understand the value of these other ones.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'd be overwhelming though, because there's just so many.
Yeah.
So we look at these maps and it's like, oh my God.
Yes, it's really.
It's kind of intimidating, but I mean, I think you just need to spend time.
Right.
Yeah,
And I think it's helpful to feel like it's organizing into like different directions.
Ambulance two, respond to medical emergency at 63 Orchard Street.
Oh dear.
It's just, Pat, to your point, you know, the one thing that's nice is if the color coding, if we do feel good about them all being equal, just looking at this zoomed out, we can be like, oh, look, yeah, Green River corridor obviously stands out.
Yeah.
As being very green, also along the edge of the Connecticut, which adds up to understand those to be the places of high observation bias within the city. So I think that's a sign of success, at least from this.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that, you know, with the shading of the, there's an open space, it's really nice, so you can look in there, and just like, oh yeah, that spot, there's one that is the dark green and next to from protected open space, that seems like a no-brainer to move to conservation. So I feel like it's very, I think it's effective, the way you present it.
How do we know? We don't fund this, if it's owned by the city. It looks like it's on the, which part? Yeah.
It's this one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the. Yeah, because it says Greenfield Conservation Commission and then Recreation Department, Water Department, Water District. So those are different parts of the city or health, you know. Related to the water department or district might be separate, but it doesn't say anywhere otherwise. I think just those.
I mean, things could be owned by the, like these vacant lots, for instance, could be owned by the, here it says city owned, so we know that much.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I know that on like land that the city owns, like for the library, or fire, like. I didn't-
Yeah, like, for instance,
Right.
I'm looking at this as general parcel. I'm pointing at this one.
The old golf course,
Super.
the old golf course.
Ah. Okay, so that's letting me know from it.
Yeah, no,
The golf course anymore.
No, and it's.
Disc golf, right?
Yeah, it's where it's at.
Oh, did that close?
I don't think so.
Huh?
Yes, it is.
Isn't it still?
Oh, my son said it was.
Okay, I'm glad. Thought everybody had clicked.
Everything was.
Would it be possible to include some of these large parcels of the pioneer plan mentioned as like
as
potential,
value,
maybe not as a value,
but just more.
but just where they are.
Yeah.
I'd like to see where they are in our ranked team.
Mhm.
And maybe think about, like, I guess we're thinking about land, like new land to protect, but also we have been discussing the mowing, like with DW, and I'm curious about, like, if anyone has new information about how that's.
But I can talk about it either now or.
Yeah, we'll get to that, yeah, in a moment, yeah.
So I guess yeah, knowing where everything is, and then I feel like if we were to get into like kind of more of like engagement sort of map, like to like if we're identifying things right now, then maybe we have another kind of map that is like for planning purposes, like what, like I would love to see like what are the maintenance practices that DPW does for mowing, like their schedules, and the farming practices that is mentioned in the pollinator plan. And how like all of these
That's
practices,
more management.
first, yeah.
As city properties
Mhm.
specifically, but also it could be a fish and game.
And also like just engaging with the public, like as far as like how to like truly conserve
Yeah.
the land by like just some basic information as far as like scheduling.
Yeah.
How to do more on their own.
We were talking about if there was
management or management plans for the forests, town forests,
Mhm.
that can be included.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, at least starting with where these things are. would be-
Okay. So my the next steps are to work on the, downtown area map. Before any of that, make sure I put together an electronic packet and post it to the agenda.
Great.
And yeah, working on the downtown map, and then we can go from there in terms of maybe retooling some of the. Does that make sense?
That sounds good to me, and I also feel like this is. Maybe without the weights, maybe
Yeah.
it's sufficient, it gives us,
Yeah.
it gives us the idea. And it's not a perfect science, of course, right, and so.
Right, it's a starting place.
Right. And so just looking at some of these, like they're yellow.
Yeah.
They're near color protected on the color, but there's some other ones that are worth. It's not like, it's not an overwhelming number of parcels, but 4 and 5.
Right.
So that's my thought.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I think then we can share it with some others too, before it's final, and get other input.
Yeah.
I'll put some road names on here too, just.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Just really look.
Yeah, they are on this. one.
Yeah, just bare bones, but.
Yeah.
Thank you, Allison. This is, it's.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is.
It's-
It's really helpful.
Yeah, I got the mapping bug, so I'm happy to. play it.
Thanks, that's incredible. Yeah, thanks
Yes.
so much.
Yes, I love math, but I don't do GIS.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's really hard to, I wonder if you'd be able to make this into a pretty map.
I could,
And then there-
if you have the files, then yeah, we could play around with it.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Great, anything else on the mapping? That's clear, some clear next steps there.
Sounds good. Thank you all for your feedback.
Yeah, thank you. Awesome. So next line to Julie. Be able to share.
Recording in progress.
Testing, are we okay? Um. There in a moment.
So I'm a little useless to, what we just did was really. Was. What the two was working on moving open space task force priorities forward, isn't that what we're doing now?
Well, this is a part of that. So that's sort of that was the broad overarching heading, and then the first part of that, and then then the agenda lists the priorities are, and the first one was review draft maps and discuss any changes that are needed. So that's what we just did. So now we're moving on to review updated priorities and next steps.
I guess all messed up, man. Position under. Conduct community engagement.
Are you-
No. I copied the agenda and stuck it into
Oh,
a
it's
Word document, so.
it's looking kind of funny.
Well,
The conduct community engagement, I think, just got bumped, because that's just one of the listed 4 priorities. See how it
Maybe
looks.
change the hierarchy of the.
Yeah,
I'll clean it when.
yeah. All right. Okay. So the next thing is just for us to look at this year ahead and start to think about our priorities. So we talked about this in our last meeting in June, looking at what our priorities were and adjusting. And basically what I did is What's that?
My name has a Y.
Yeah, you know, I saw that somewhere and I was like, why is it happening? I wasn't sure.
I mean, every time you, any other nights.
Guess I didn't see it.
All right. So some of what we talked about, I just added into some of our existing priorities that just made sense that they fit together. And then the first priority, sorry, through here. So the first priority, this is what we just talked about, the conserving new land, which the first step is this mapping process we're going through. And then we have these various next steps that we'll look at more closely in a second. This trails priority that we've talked about, working on our trails, the pollinator work and implementing the pilot plan, and then this one that we added in our last meeting of a community engagement goal that we want to work on this year. So I have added some next steps, although I'm sure it needs some work of what the next steps are, and I've started to add in based on the digital survey that I sent out, just some names in a few places, but I think there's more. I was trying to limit names, but there's really no reason to do that. So feel free to just say you want your name somewhere that it's not. But I was thinking it'd be nice if we tried to hone in on limited number of leads for each that could try to drive each of the focus on each of the priorities. So based on the work that we've done so far, I put me and Allison and Patty on this first one. Francoise and Pat being our two most interested trails members, trails. And pollinators, I put Francoise and Emily, I'm not sure why I did that, but.
Yeah, you said.
Um,
Good then.
And
Hey, I'm interested in it.
then community engagement, but me and Emily, so we talked about that as the leads.
I'd be interested in being off the other one, I guess, because I feel like I'm maybe not too helpful there. And probably more helpful with the engagement and pollinator stuff,
Great.
but don't need to be the lead on that and you just assist.
Yeah, great. Well, yeah, awesome. I'll just put you here for now and we can hone in. On this.
So Jonah,
Yeah.
I realized, I thought we were supposed to put our names in there already, so.
Yeah,
me
me too.
My name. So-
Yeah, no, I think I invited you
Is
to,
that okay?
yes, I think I invited you to if you wanted to, but yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yep, that's great. So do others feel like you're kind of in the right places so far? We could add folks in more. I guess so. Maybe I know we're kind of all interested in all these topics in general, and so what I'm trying to do is just trying to focus so that we can work towards progress and not stretch us all out too much. Just try to really hone in. So yeah, that's my thinking on this. Open to other suggestions of how we do it.
John, I'm just curious, could you just look at, the trail part?
Yeah.
Is there even though I just looked at this today, because there is one that says to try, yeah, investigate funding for trail maintenance. I was also thinking it would be nice to get, if people, think this is important, to get funding to do, like forest management plans. Maybe we
There
have
is-
them,
there
and
is a
we
priority.
have them already.
Not on most of the properties. There is a bullet somewhere in there that talked about that as one of the claims of that.
Oh, I thought we did have that, but I don't see it.
We talked about it in the last meeting and then I
did,
It might have dropped lower.
might have dropped a little. I think we had thought that this community engagement was an important step prior.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's what we talked about, just like bringing people in. Cause I think before we get the management plans, which is often the first thing people do, it
Yeah.
would be better to talk to people about the forests and get.
I was gonna say, I wanted to get people stuck in what they.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, was it that?
There's a lot of conflict around activities. You know, the plan, you can sit there, but once people actually start doing something, there's lots of conflict. So being able to get more meeting, kind of like engagement beforehand seems like a good.
Yeah. Um. So what are thoughts on next steps with this? Is there, this one, there's a lot of next steps for the conservation one that I've put in.
I could throw my name on some of those,
Yeah.
because a couple of them I think would be really easy to do just with like what data sets I have in GIS in terms of butters and.
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah, you should be on this one. Yeah,
Yeah, and then I would be interested in doing the right of first refusal one as well.
oh, yeah, great.
I'd be interested in being on the create list of steps and costs associated with city land acquisition and conservation, because that does kind of come along with the conservation commission. Like to know what that is for them, or
Yeah,
similar for other departments.
right. Great.
Yeah, and you can put me on row 9. Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, great.
Here's what the stewardship expenses, funding of land stuff is.
I would be interested in working on that. We could work on that together, because I know a lot of the existing sources.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Francoise, you worked on this last one to some degree, right? What's looking through the city-owned land?
I did.
Did you, is
But-
that work in progress or
And that, and you probably, there was a bond work that Travis from the Conservation Commission
you
did,
finished that?
and then you worked on that as well, but you had access to the list that he did, right?
Yeah.
Did you have, what were there ones that were not, like, we have a list of ones that are not protected as well as they could be? Does that,
I can't remember,
yeah,
but I think it was only the protected ones. Maybe.
Well-
There was,
But
I
I
remember I was looking at it and saying something stopped, you know, and that it's a spreadsheet and it's in the drives. Whatever.
okay, well, maybe, yeah, maybe I'll have a look at that. And we can see, if more needs to happen.
That's a great place to start, because for any property that is already owned by the city, but that doesn't have protections, getting through that process is an important place to start.
Yeah. And we know that those exist, we have, so
Yeah,
we do have.
Travis did their deed research, that you did more.
Yeah,
I don't think many of the properties that are owned by the city were served with a conservation restriction,
right,
but it's just through the acquisition process. If they have the appropriate language that says this is acquired for conservation purposes
Right.
or for recreation. I'm not sure how it works. But yeah.
Right, and I think I completed it by reading the many plans that we have.
Oh, okay.
oh, yeah, even the OSRP had something.
Maybe it was
Similar, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was.
So I guess, so my question, I was just trying to think about how we want to shape the year. How we want to try to actually, we've had great progress with this project. How we want to try to move these other steps along. One thought that I had was I guess right now we have 4 top priorities. Maybe we alternate meetings where we focus on 2 of them. It's which kind of brought us a little bit to like, oh yeah, this is the meeting where I have to report back on progress that I made. So I can help move us along. And then maybe we can invite relevant guests for those.
Yeah, that's the thing, is for some of those, we're kind of stuck because we have to work with some departments.
Right.
So it would be great to have them come.
Right.
Speaking of which, had we planned for
Donna,
Donna to come today, then we didn't
I think she couldn't do
today.
today either. I thought she said it was September that she could do. Maybe I'm wrong.
Thought it was today. Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Well, works.
she's the head of the Recreation Commission.
Yeah, so maybe we can plan to invite her for September would be great.
In terms of the community engagement,
Yeah.
to align with the things, the Conservation Commission,
thinking about, Griswold Park.
Yeah.
And that is a property that has that conservation, that has that forest management plan. There's a forester who's engaged still, Lincoln Fish, who's retiring, but he's still interested. And also there's some things about the trails that people, like there's old signage that really needs to be replaced.
Mm.
So it's on sort of the top of our list for the Conservation Commission. So that seems like a really good property to start in terms of engaging, and it's also pretty used to
Mhm.
person. So I think I'll put that on my list of like, little, picking one out of the hat. That's a good one to have be a property that I'm trying to move forward on.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good.
Another question, and this would be about the parks too, is if we're gonna be doing work on the trails, do we have that trail map that FERPAC?
Oh, I asked Ryan about it and he said he had completed a draft and gave it to Christy and then hadn't heard back.
Okay, so it's in
So
the.
it's still conservation.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Okay, so
recreation.
somebody has it, so we should be able to get.
Yeah, he took it as far as he could and was just waiting to
Yeah.
hear back from the city. So I don't know. if Christy would be willing to just share with us what he did. Even if she doesn't put it in.
Maybe we could talk with, maybe Donna has some thoughts on how we proceed with that as well, when she comes. Great. So Emily, so with this community engagement, we were talking about hosting sort of a broader, something where we share this finalized version.
Great.
So maybe we should think of, I don't know, late winter, early spring, like have like a goal time that we want to
Yeah.
have a community engagement.
Seems like it'd be nice to do it at the library.
Yeah, right.
Winter seems like a great planning time.
Yeah.
So maybe that we can just sort of keep that as what we're moving towards, is doing something
Mhm.
better in the winter. Let's see, any other thoughts on needs and how we're gonna proceed with that?
I feel like I could be useful in the pollinator plan stuff.
Yeah,
A lot of what I'm doing all the time is thinking about when to cut things back. So I'm really curious to hear about what the DPD's mowing schedule is, and now that we have these maps, I would like to take a look at where these areas that we could mow most frequently are.
yeah,
And just kind of get a sense of like, what are the existing maintenance schedules? What could be the potential maintenance schedules, especially with this natural community information. And then as far as engagement, I wonder like what other plans could be good places too, and maybe even if like they're like just different neighborhoods around Greenfield where people can kind of engage around their neighborhoods to be like a starting point. I'm interested in looking into that.
yeah. Great.
So, maybe, recreation in one meeting and the next DPW on, with everything we have.
That's true.
But this in particular.
And we'll have we had Marlo here, but now we.
Right.
So,
Oh, right.
yeah, so
So again, or maybe I'll just jump in with. I wanted to give Paul, some time to
so,
get used to his new position. So I called this morning. Nothing like a meeting coming up. Left the message, didn't hear back. So I grabbed the email that I had sent tomorrow on June 25th and forwarded it
Oh, great,
to Paul.
great.
Now, just to see if you can answer that, and the main question at that point was about the Riverworks part, which is the Brookie part on Deerfield Street, because we had come up with using that as our first trial
Yeah,
for reduced mowing. And I had talked to everybody who, so to her, talked to him, and I talked to everybody and nobody had any objections.
Great.
So I sent Marlo you know, what we recommended from the only the plan, you know, keep the bleed 4 inches. How often, you know, once in the spring, once in the fall, things like that. Meanwhile, I've really done nothing because I walk past there a lot and it's just like this. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder at this point if our focus is the spring, since things,
Well, I mean, it could stop until,
Yeah.
until fall.
yeah. It's
You know
true. I
what?
think we can make that work.
I'm just gonna say, a simple thing might be to put a sign up there, do not mow.
Well, I can't,
Well, I mean, someone could do it, because I know there's a do not mow sign across from, the swimming area. And that place is all grown up, I mean, I'm just,
you should get completely out of this.
no, you should, but I mean, but sometimes people go on autopilot, you know, they send some people on, you know, go maintain, you know, this section today.
Yeah.
And they're probably not even thinking about it, and they just don't cut it.
Well, that's
At
what I'm
least if
curious.
the sign is there,
How they manage, like,
yeah, I don't know,
the mowers and,
it's a good question.
and like, what is the actual way of communicating this information to the people doing?
What he told us last time, Marla, was that it was like once a week. in Most places. In the summer.
Which makes sense.
It's pretty frequent. though.
Yeah. And I don't think it was needed this summer.
Because
It wasn't growing much anyway.
I wonder if we'd be able to like have a meeting, like if me and you are interested in working on that, if we could just maybe like have a face-to-face meeting with Paul sometime.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah, we talked about also having, I like the idea of having them mow less frequently and less short. We also talked about where there's large fields, even
Yeah.
carving off sections, and that we're not gonna mow this, we
Right.
can even flag an area, so this is a non-mowed area for the season. So,
I was doing some research about like kind of mowing schedules. And what I found in the pollinator plan so far, the regional and the Greenfield one, I don't think I had like specific like mowing practices, schedules, like very specifically. But I did find something, and it does kind of have like a yearly, like seasonal kind of flow to it, like winter being like the time to plan and coordinate your volunteers. For like hand pulling plants, and looking for grants for getting contracted specialists to do, herbicide treatments. And then basically mowing in, late spring, 6 inches is what I've been reading. Yeah, and basically there's just like a few times in the spring and summer and fall where like, it seems like that it could be kind of simple to hopefully get, right side mowing schedules or wherever we, you know, wherever the maps and the plans have said are good to do, that could be something to bring up. Yeah, if not for this fall, then maybe for next season.
Yeah, but yeah, if possible, then I haven't seen it, so it seems like the push could be for a spring starting mowing season. This is the game plan, here's the spots.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's already, like, if there's already been a plan in place, but it hasn't really been acted upon.
Yeah, sure.
I'm curious why not, and.
When I sent that letter to Marlo, I didn't know he was leaving, and he left like the week after. So I'm sure I pushed her.
Annie, are you trying the Xerxes, you doing Xerxes?
I was just starting to read that.
Oh,
Yeah, I was thinking of that.
they should have stuff, I think.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Xerxes, have you ever heard of?
Just like like an insect conservation big group.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's society. Yeah.
XERCES.
Did you, when you were looking at the pollinator plan, were you looking at the updated regional toolkit?
I think, I just Googled it.
Well, I was just asking because just the last time I was working on it.
Maybe I just I get it yet. I know that there were two like options to go, so I don't think I wrote it. Maybe it's in it.
Yeah, I put in a new, like, we had funding to update the first plan, so there's some stuff in there that might be helpful. But some of it is like pretty broad because you're trying to like, what's reasonable for small town.
Yeah.
Departments in Greenfield, but in a larger capacity, so
Yeah,
still take it with a grain of salt, but there's more info in there.
great, thanks and all of that.
Great. So I guess my last thought on this is, do we want to hone in on point people or point two people that are the lead for each that are helping to drive it? Would that be helpful? Do you think that people want that? So sort of someone's kind of like organizing an email to two other people who are involved saying, okay, can you be doing what this month or want to do that approach, or just like having it be a team that co-organizes is fine.
So far, it's sort of in teams, right? So there's a mapping team.
Right, yeah, we haven't had a lot of, that's been working, not to keep.
And then we know what the teams are from. Yeah.
Right, so right now they're in there in yellow.
I think I might be more useful thinking, reflecting, rather than the pollinators to be on that section. Because I just already have a lot of information. I want to learn about pollinators, but it's more about. It's fun for me, so.
Yep, great. So Francoise and Patty will lead the pollinator team. The
Or
pollinator
will
work.
you go to?
You'll be the one.
Okay, and I'd like to be, I can be your crownie. Okay.
Right, which is, yeah, for all of it, right? Don't hesitate to ask others to for help.
I'm trying to do stuff in my yard, so I can participate.
Yeah.
I just started mine. Okay. 10 minutes.
Great, okay, and it's also on my list to have a little more email, sort of, we might like checking in on the group throughout the
Yeah.
month to try to help us to keep it. I know for
Not
you
wait till
too.
the day of. like-
Yeah, right. Well, the same thing, weeks pass and like, oh, here we are again, so yeah, I'll work on that. Great. So it is now time for public comment. Nancy. Oops.
Yeah, this has been great. Thank you so much for all you're doing. I appreciate it. I think my only, it's a question is, what is the best way to get minutes from the committee and to have access to the table that you were showing, and access to the maps, obviously. But just,
Yeah. Yeah,
Was-
we'll put the minutes are behind with getting posted, but they are on the SGIC.
Mm.
At the bottom of the SGIC page.
okay,
There's our minutes. So they won't be these won't be posted until they're approved in the next meeting, but I can just send you.
yeah, that would be helpful so that I can get them before the next meeting.
Right, yeah,
Post afterwards.
right,
And
yes.
your priorities table, what's the story with that?
As far as you having access to it,
Correct.
yes, I'll put a link for that as well. I'll just share it with you as with you being you. I'll
Thank
share
you
it.
so much.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, I love what you
Um,
guys are doing. Thank you.
Nancy, how is the audio for you being on Zoom in this room?
It's not great.
Presence is requested in the kitchen.
Could you hear everybody?
I could hear some people better than others.
Yeah, okay.
The ones like
Could you hear me?
Jonah and Allison?
Yeah,
Okay.
Donna, you're very clear. I have trouble with
Okay.
Patty and Pat and maybe Emily. I think Emily are there too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, that's, it doesn't,
Probably. some pitches are harder to hear, I'm probably
well, it's the
ready.
technology as well. This is just has the one mic, whereas the other rooms have multiple mics.
Got
So
it.
maybe we can recommend,
We said that last time already.
that's true,
Yeah.
but I didn't do it, so I'll do it this time. Great, thanks, Nancy.
Thank you so much.
So I guess our next meeting, it sounded like we felt good about trying here again.
But you will ask if
I
we
will
could,
ask. If there's
and
another way.
if we could have a way to get in.
And I could get here earlier too, it's fine with me, I can just do work here, so I can try coming earlier to give them more chances.
That's nice of you, thank you.
So we'll give here another shot and
Okay.
So, sorry, I would have gone, I guess, with other business. I was just curious if people knew about the Butinski farm, you know, they stopped farming and
Yeah,
does anyone know, if anyone knows them personally or knows? If they, I don't know on the map, that was, I didn't try to find the good parts. I didn't, I didn't want to get us all started on that. I just wanted to put it out there. Did anyone hear anything about it or?
just that it was in the paper.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
Not a
Right.
huge, I mean, I'm assuming it's a pretty big parcel.
Where is that?
It's down on Colvin Road.
You know, somebody mentioned that the SDIC.
Yeah,
It's, it's before the rotary, well, before the rotary, and if you're going anyway, if you're going away from Route 2 or 2A there, it's. Let's see here how big. They're on the east side of the road.
They're on the west side.
Do we have a list of properties that are like updated, you know, like properties to conserve? Like Martin's Farm becoming available or maybe Butinski's farming.
I think we need to start making lists like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like I'll put together a butter list for all of the dark green ones, and then we could add, just like have another section for.
Are you looking at? For which map would that be?
For this one.
Okay.
great. Anything else to add? I don't think I missed anything on the agenda. I'm sorry, we're going to September here and we're just sticking with second Monday at 5. People are feeling good about that as we head into the fall. Is that scheduled?
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
And we'll try. Oh, discussion, yes, we'll try for the,
And for Donna for next,
if Christie wants to come with me, but.
sure, we can invite her as well. Yeah, she was interested. I did invite Jessica. Jessica at this time is not good for her to come in person and fresh and to look at stuff. But she can come virtually, I think, for other sessions. But I think once we do the next step with this, we'll probably want to schedule another just in-person meeting with her.
Yeah.
To discuss.